as much as I try to fix my hair and tame these flyaways, they just don't want to cooperate. Sorry guys. I promise I'm not gonna do that. Today I tried to peinarme. I guess it didn't work. Hi my honeys, welcome back to my channel. So today is Thursday. I did upload on Tuesday. Just want to freshly remind you guys, I know that my new schedule is only supposed to be Thursdays and Saturdays, but I couldn't help myself and I showed you guys the new Gilded Desert collection from Morphe, so definitely check that video out. But today's video, I'm going to be doing a comparison to the Makeup by Ariel in collab with Morphe brush set, which we all love. Personally, I can say for myself, I'm obsessed with his brushes. He did such an amazing job. I did get reached out by this company. They're not sponsoring this video. This is me personally wanting to compare both brush sets with you guys. And the brand is called, hopefully I'm not butchering this because you guys know my pronunciation sucks, Jessup Beauty. They have a bunch of different brush sets, and when they sent this over, you guys, I automatically thought, oh my god, they remind me of Makeup by Ariel. And a few of you guys actually also DM'd me on Instagram and you guys were like, I want you to do a comparison, and you guys also thought that they reminded you of the Makeup by Ariel brush set. So I have a few things that I want to go ahead and get out before we jump into the tutorial. So I'll be doing my eyeshadow as well as my face makeup with these brushes, and I think I'm going to do them on each side of my face, and we can definitely compare that at the end of the video. So let's go ahead and give you guys some info on the Ariel set and collab with Morphe. So these brushes retail for $98. It does include 11 brushes plus a makeup sponge, which you guys, I love his sponge that he came out with. I tried buying it again on its own. I even gone to 2 Morphe stores, but unfortunately they don't sell that sponge alone. They do have an 8 brush set, and that retails for $48. That does not include the makeup sponge. Unfortunately, I did notice that there's 3 brushes that they did not include into the actual face and eye brush collection for $98, which I thought was super interesting, and I wonder why they didn't do that. The A25, A16, and A7 are the ones that are missing in the entire brush collection, but you do get those in the $48 brush set collection. Now the Jessup, these brushes, as you guys saw in the clips earlier, they do look almost identical except for the Makeup by Ariel. The name is like encarved in the makeup brushes, and the color of the brush handles are pretty much almost the same. This is like a little bit more of a darker nude than this one, but they're still really both pretty nude colors. And of course the hairs on the brush, these ones are a little bit darker brown than this one. 14 brushes plus a makeup sponge as well, which it used to retail for $45.99, which I still think is not too bad because with the Ariel one you only get 11 brushes. Retails right now, it's currently on sale for $38.45, which is wild. And then if you want 10 brushes and no sponge included, just kind of like what Morphe did with only selling the 8-piece eye set, they will retail for only $20 for 10 brushes. Originally it was priced at $28.99, but now they dropped it down to $20. I don't have a personal code with Jessup, but I do have one with Morphe, and it's GlamFam330, and it does knock $5 off if you guys decide to go with the Ariel brush set. But so that's all the information that I have and that I personally, digged in for you guys, and you guys can make your final decision at the end of this video. For the eyeshadow palette today, I'm going to go into the Morphe palette. I love this one. It's the 35X Big Primpin palette because I haven't used her in quite some time, so I wanted to go ahead and play with her today. I'm going to go into my Urban Decay Eden Primer. You guys already know the drill with that. So the first brush that I want to go into, which obviously reminds me of the Ariel A19 brush, because it's a double-ended brush. So we have one for concealer to cut your crease, and then we have this underneath here where you can like go ahead and like blend out any eyeshadow under the eye. Obviously you can tell right away that this one is a dupe for the Morphe one. It's a little bit longer, as you guys can see. I personally really like the size of this one. I feel like this one's a little bit too long, and the Morphe one is a little bit thicker, as you guys can also see right there. So let's go ahead and apply this. This is the Jessup Beauty one. Okay, so far so good, you guys. guys, it's applying the primer very well. Gonna jump into the ARIEL one. So I will say that it does feel, this brush or the hairs feel more flat, if that makes sense, than the Jessup Beauty one. I personally really like more flat, like a flat feel. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if you guys cut your crease like I do normally or apply eye primer, you guys will probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Really quick, so both of them did a really good job, you guys. I can definitely feel that this one from Jessup Beauty is a little bit chunkier or thicker of a brush. You guys can see right away, versus the ARIEL one, it is flatter. I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but I do prefer something more flat. But this still did a really, really good job. All right, so now to apply my transition shade, I will say this, you guys, that with the ARIEL one, we only have 2 fluffy brushes to apply your transition shade, because this one, A29, is flat, which it's not bad because you can still go in with a transition shade and apply it in your crease. But to buff it out, you definitely need something more, you know, like my Morphe M433, something more fluffy. And with Jessup Beauty, you actually have these 3, yeah, just these 3, but you have, I mean, a variety. You have one more brush that you can use for your transition shade. I'm gonna use the A11. All right, so I'm gonna take the shadow called Volume Up, and again, the Morphe brush. I'm gonna apply it on this eye, and I'm just gonna place it right in the crease. So obviously I've already used the ARIEL brushes. I know that they are going to perform very nicely. So again, I'm gonna place it back here. So on my skin, it feels very soft. Like, it doesn't feel rough, which I was expecting them to be soft because when you touch them, they feel very, very soft. I'm so excited for this video because I love comparing products, which I should do more often on my channel. So here we have it, you guys. Amazing. The next shade I'm gonna go into, you guys, is called Total Inspo, and pretty much it's a little bit darker than the first shade we just placed. I'm going to apply it right in here just to warm this up a little bit. I literally feel like I'm not even applying any product, which is a really good sign for these brushes being more affordable than the Morphe ones. Jumping back to the A11, I'm gonna go into that same dark shade called Total Inspo and just do the exact same thing. But I mean, like, look at that. It looks actually really good. Pretty much the same concept. I'm gonna place it right here. And remember, we don't wanna cover the first shade that we placed, so we're just applying this right underneath. Now to warm it up a little bit more, I do wanna go into a darker shade. So I'm gonna switch brushes because these 2 are more on the fluffy side. So we don't wanna overpass the 2 shadows that we placed. So I'm gonna take the Morphe 820, and I think this one from Jessup is almost the exact same. All right, so I'm gonna take the shade called Smoke Show. So I'm going back into that Jessup one just because I don't wanna overcover the other shade. I'm gonna blend with this brush. Okay, so this looks really stunning. Now I'm gonna jump into my Morphe, the 820, and do the exact same thing. Okay, so off the bat, I can tell you guys right now that with this one, I feel like I have more control than the other one. So this one definitely feels a little bit more thicker. And this one with ARIEL, I mean, it's slimmer. So, and I love that it only applies it where I'm placing it. So I definitely feel like I got more control with the ARIEL one. So with the Jessup Beauty, you guys, they have 2 brushes that I could use to pack on my eyeshadow. And the Morphe and ARIEL one, they only have this one, which I normally like to use this to apply eyeshadow in my crease or blend out my under eye. So, but I'm gonna try it and apply my eyeshadow all over the lid. But I love that Jessup Beauty has 2. I want to go back into that first shade that we applied, you guys, in the beginning. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna place it just right here towards the outer corner. I'm gonna pack it on. So it's applying it very nicely. All right, so taking that same color again, but taking my Morphe one, do the exact same thing. Okay, it doesn't feel that bad. I've never used my brush for this. I will definitely say that with the Jessup Beauty one, I was able to get the color payoff right away, perhaps because it is a little bit chubbier and thicker than the Morphe one, and this one I did have to go in twice to get the color payoff. It's not a bad thing, but I definitely noticed that right away. Jessup Beauty also sent me this brush cleaner, which I thought was super cool. So on this side, you can clean your brushes, like if you guys have seen my Sigma mat on my socials, I love using that to clean my makeup brushes. You can remove this too, and you can get it wet and let it dry, air dry. And they also included this, which you can remove any extra product off your brushes. You guys know that sometimes I just use a towel to do that, or a napkin, which works really great as well. But I thought that was really cool that they sent this over. I'm gonna go into the shade called Very Merry with no setting spray or anything. I like the eyeshadow to be dry. Using the Morphe one, I'm gonna apply this right in here, and then I'm gonna just bring it up towards my brow and then swoop it up this way. Okay, I'm gonna go back into this and just remove any eyeshadow. Clean yet again, and I'm gonna go back into Very Merry again and just place it in here. Wow, I really can't tell a difference, you guys, on what eyeshadow brushes I use. Isn't that crazy? For foundation, I do love, you guys, that the 824 from Morphe is such a good foundation brush, as well as to apply your cream contour, because I've used it for both things. The Jessup Beauty, it almost looks actually identical to it, which is crazy compared to all the other brushes. I'm gonna apply foundation on the back of my hand like I always do. Make sure your hands are clean. I'm gonna go in with the Jessup Beauty one first. So right away, I can definitely feel that it's giving me really great coverage. I actually was not expecting it. I don't know why. And of course, when you do use a brush, I feel like it provides way more coverage than a sponge does. This brush is amazing. I felt so rushed yesterday when I was playing with it, and I really couldn't like enjoy it. And right now I'm like, oh my God, wow. Now I'm gonna jump into the 824 brush, and I'm gonna start to blend it out. Okay, so I definitely have some thoughts with the ARIEL brush, you guys. I can also see what he was clearly doing. With the Jessup Beauty, I definitely feel like it applied it a lot more heavier, and which is not a bad thing because I'm a full coverage type of girl, and if you are too, you will definitely enjoy the brush. But for some reason, this one from the ARIEL side, like it still gave me full coverage, but I don't know. My right side just feels a tiny bit heavier than my left. It definitely looks more natural on this side, and the bristles, I noticed that with this one, se abre más, like they open up more, versus with this one, it kind of stays in one place. So you guys can see here, look how much this one opens up from ARIEL, and this one just kind of stays right there. You see that? So se abren más, and so I feel like it just applies it a little bit more naturally than the Jessup Beauty one. I did use the makeup sponge yesterday for that little mini tutorial on Instagram. I personally did not like the sponge at all. Hands down, the Makeup by ARIEL one is way better. But since I don't have that one, I'm not gonna go into this. So the A58 is supposed to be used to apply your cream contour. And so I'm gonna use this one from Jessup Beauty. I feel like they kind of look a little bit, actually no, they kind of look way off. Obviously, the ARIEL one looks a lot whiter and more chewy than the Jessup Beauty one. Going into my Rare Beauty contour stick in the shade Happy something, right? Yeah, Happy Sol. I love and I'm obsessed with her cream bronzer stick. Haven't been able to put it down. Seriously, go get it. All right, so for the Jessup Beauty side, I'm gonna go into the stick. So I'm just gonna place it in here. Gonna move it around. Oh, I love this bronzer stick. So good. Can you guys see how beautiful it applies? Okay, the A58, doing the exact same thing. I have used this brush before to apply my cream products. I will say this though, even though I do enjoy using this one from ARIEL, I kind of liked the Jessup Beauty one a little bit more. I think because of the size. It is definitely a lot thinner and not so wide. I'm back. So for bronzer, you guys, to apply powder bronzer, I'm gonna go into the A21, which indicates that this is for your bronzer. And so I'm gonna use this one from Jessup Beauty because they kind of look almost the same. And for my bronzer today, I'm gonna go into the Morphe. This is their Bronze Show Velvet Matte Powder Bronzer, you guys. I'm seriously so obsessed with these. And I'm gonna go into the shade called Tropical Tan. Pack it on. It's really fluffy, so I feel like it applies your bronzer nicely and like right away. And I'm just gonna apply it on this side. Oh yeah, I feel like I like this size a lot better than the Morphe one. Before we do apply our blush, I want to go ahead and finish the under eye with you guys because we have another brush that I want to, you know, compare. So with the Jessup Beauty, we have two that I love that I could definitely see myself using for my under eye. Of course, this little one reminds me of the A18 from Morphe, but you can tell that the Morphe one está un poquito más angosto, so it's a little bit longer, just a tiny bit, than the Jessup Beauty. But I love that Jessup Beauty has another one that's a little bit thicker, so if I would want to go into something dark under my lash line and I want it super close, I can definitely go into a smaller brush like this. And then for my second color to blend out that line, I can go into this one. And I thought that was super genius. With the Morphe side, unfortunately, there isn't one that is like this. So I do find myself that every time I go into this one from Morphe, I do go into a different brush to smoke that out. So starting off with these two, I'm gonna go ahead and go into that brown, that darker brown that we used towards the outer corner, and I'm gonna place it underneath. The shade called Smoke Show, I'm gonna go into the Morphe side first, and we're just going to start to apply it right underneath, so really close to the lash line. Okay, going into that Jessup Beauty one, taking the same eyeshadow, and I'm going to start to hit it underneath here. So these two actually feel about the same, so no difference there actually. Like I mentioned, Morphe does not have a smaller brush, so I'm gonna go into this one again, the A29, the one that we used to apply some of the eyeshadow on our lid. So taking the Morphe one first, I am gonna go into the first shade that we used in the crease, and I'm just going to buff this out. It's still the perfect shape to apply underneath your under eye, because I've used this before for this, but I do kind of wish there was something a little bit smaller. All right, Jessup Beauty's up next. Oh yeah, so I love this. Now it's time for some blush. So ARIEL indicates that this one, the 822, is for blush, which personally for me, it kind of looks more like of a highlighter brush, if you ask me. But you can also use it for highlight. Since he does say that this is for blush, I'm gonna use it for blush. Jessup does have one, but it is way thinner. Off the bat, you guys can see it is completely different than the Morphe one, but Jessup Beauty does indicate that this is more for highlight. ARIEL does have this one, the A14, which you can use to dust away or apply powder underneath your under eye, or you can also use it to apply your highlight. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use this as a highlighter brush today. For blush, I'm gonna go into this one, which is what we did to apply our bronzer. For blush today, I'm gonna go into my MAC Cosmetics Melba blush. I'm gonna use the Morphe side first. I'm really interested in this because I personally haven't used this brush for blush. All right, so let's see what happens. Let's kind of dust it out this way. Okay, I'm gonna go in again for more product. Okay, so definitely when you go in with this brush, it applies the blush very soft and natural and pretty. In a way, it's not a bad thing. Kind of like it. It gives me a little bit of color, so not too much. And then I'm just gonna apply it. Oh, this feels really nice on my face. Going to another layer. I personally love using brushes like this to apply my blush. Maybe it's just like a habit that I have. For highlight, like I said, I'm gonna go into the Morphe A14 brush and then this one from Jessup Beauty. Been loving my highlighters from the Sun Stalker palette from Fenty Beauty. I'm gonna go into this one. Apply it right here. Ooh. It's applying my highlighter very nicely, as you guys can tell. The ARIEL side, because it is, whoa, it is a thicker brush. It's applying more product than on this side. You guys can tell this looks way more softer than this side, and that's because it's because of the brush. My lipstick is on, and now let's talk about these brushes, you guys. So I'm gonna ask you guys actually, can you guys see a difference on what brushes I used today? Let me know right now. Pause this video, comment down below. Can you guys see a difference which side I used Morphe and then which side I used Jessup Beauty? It definitely blows my mind, you guys, that I clearly can't even tell which side is which. Obviously I can, duh, because I did this video, but if I were someone else looking at me, you know, direct on, I wouldn't even tell which side is which. And that is honestly, seriously, so surprising. You guys heard my thoughts throughout the video because I didn't want to make my outro super long, and I was explaining to you guys the benefits of each brush set. So obviously we know that the Ariel brush set, it only comes with 11 brushes and it retails for $98 minus GlamFam 330, my discount code. But still, it's still pretty high, you know, for brushes. And then with the Jessup Beauty, those retail for only $38.45 and you get 14 brushes plus a beauty blender. With Ariel you do too, but it's $98 for the entire collection. And I still feel that there was some brushes, there were 3 brushes that were missing that we were not getting, but they were included in the brush eye set, but that one retails for $48 and you only get 8. So with Jessup Beauty, $38.45 for 14 brushes. That is insane. I definitely recommend these brushes to you guys. They're so affordable. They really are a dupe for the Makeup by Ariel, but I definitely feel like if you want to save some money, get the same quality pretty much, I would definitely recommend Jessup Beauty. Now again, this video is not sponsored. I wanted to do this for myself and give you guys my feedback on both brush sets. Now Makeup by Ariel knows exactly what he's doing. I'm obsessed with his brush collection. Obviously I spent the money, they were not sent to me, and I don't regret buying them at all whatsoever. I didn't know about Jessup Beauty until they reached out to me and sent these brushes out for free, but I'm seriously blown away with the quality, and the price point is seriously incredible. The only difference is that the brushes do not have a number. The Ariel ones do, which I think is super helpful whenever we're doing makeup tutorials and we can tell you guys which brush we use for what. And Jessup Beauty, they do not have a brush number at all. Don't know why that is, but I definitely would recommend them to do that so that way it's not confusing. And of course, if you only want the eye brush set from Jessup Beauty, that only retails for $20 and you get how many? 10 brushes. So it's still a really good deal, either one. I definitely recommend Jessup Beauty. I had so much fun doing this tutorial with you guys. I mean, the proof is right here on my face. And I'm glad that I did this for you. If you have any questions or give me your thoughts down below, I want to know what you guys think. And will you be picking up the Jessup Beauty makeup brushes or the Ariel ones? You guys probably didn't own them before, and after seeing this, you guys are probably like, oh my God, like, you know, to me, it is worth $98. Obviously, we are paying for his name as well. I mean, he is Kylie Jenner's and Kim Kardashian's makeup artist. And one day I want him to do my glam. No one has ever done my glam except for one of my friends when I got married. But other than that, no one has ever touched my face. So I would love to get glammed by Ariel one day. That would be like a dream come true, or Makeup by Mario. But I love Ariel. I love his work. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Besitos, los amo, los quiero. Nos vemos el sábado para un video en español. I will link everything down below for you guys for the Morphe ones and the Jessup Beauty ones as well. Take care, you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.